Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we're doing the crossword for Friday, February 28th, 2025. So, on this perfect and last day of February, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find it to be perfect and lasting?
It was a goodie for the last day of February.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Have any trouble with it?
Not really.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, no, I plowed through it pretty quickly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, it was a challenge. It wasn't like it was easy.
Right.
But I made it through.
Well, good. Mm-hmm. Well, there were some interesting clues in here, I thought. I like one across. Splashy government expenditure was public pool.
That's right. Yeah, I like that one too.
And the one beneath it, question that might elicit more questions. Anyone else?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I had gotten the Y of any, and so I thought, oh, it's got to start with Y, like the word Y, because I knew it was going to be a question. I thought it's going to be Y something, but it turned out to be any.
Yes.
That also has a Y in the third place there.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I figured that out.
Yep.
But one down was kind of a stumper for me. Jubilant song.
Mm-hmm.
And is that PAEAN?
I believe so. I haven't heard a lot of people ever pronounce that, but
PAEAN.
yes.
I think it's PAEAN. So that didn't come to me right away. And I didn't know 22 across. The Marvels director DaCosta was Nia.
I had the N and the A, first and last characters, so I figured the middle bit had to be an I.
Uh-huh.
But that was just sort of a guess.
Do you know the movie The Marvels? Is that part of the Marvel universe?
I think it is. To be honest, I sort of lost track of some of their movies, and I think that was one of them. But I'm pretty sure that was from Marvel. Okay. I mean, it's called The Marvels,
right.
So you'd sort of hope. Did you know 4 down? WNBA star Jewell Loyd?
No, I didn't know that one.
How about 19 across, the antediluvian aged?
No, I didn't know that either.
Oh, okay.
but it it came through in the crosses. So I liked 23 across, some overhead expenses, beanies.
Yes, that was sort of. I mean, I understand it's over your head. It's on your head, and I guess you're not allowed to steal beanies, so there are expenses involved. I don't know. I just found that a little unusual, that clue.
I thought it was going to be like a bag fee, like on the airline. Oh,
okay.
Like overhead compartment.
Oh, yes.
But of course, if you put it in the overhead, you don't have to pay, right? But it's only if you check it that you have to pay for your bag.
Well, in this case, I mean, the clue was some overhead expenses, question mark.
Yes.
Which means basically that gives them carte blanche to do whatever they want at that point with the answer, no matter how far removed it is. We had 7 down, some overhead. No, let me try that one more time. 7 down, game that helps babies learn object permanence.
Yes.
And that was peekaboo.
Peekaboo. Yep, that's right.
Sort of interesting. And I had no idea who 8 down was. Caitlin of Hacks, Olsen.
Caitlin of Hacks.
I gather you're unfamiliar with that name as well.
Well, I mean, what was the name of the person who played the Scarlet Witch?
Her last name was Olsen. Her first name was Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know Caitlin Olsen then. Sorry.
That's all right. I liked 16 across. Accrue annual leaves? Question mark. Rake.
Yes.
That was good. This crossword, by the way, was by Michael Lieberman. This is his 27th, and he always cranks out pretty good crosswords.
He does. And we just had one from him not too long ago, right?
I don't know, but he's done 27 since 2021, so there's a very good chance.
Yeah, I think we just had one from him maybe a couple months ago. So.
We had 14 down, hot takes, sex scenes.
Right.
Ha ha.
Yes. Yes, and I liked 12 down. Where is it? 12 down. Event with a casual dress code. Pajama day.
Yes. I've never been involved or heard of a pajama day. Is that for schools?
Yes.
Okay, that's a
All
relief.
of our children had pajama days.
Oh, okay.
And they got to wear their pajamas to school, yes.
Woohoo.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else did we have here that was interesting? We had a clue that we've seen before, 61 across, work from home attire, perhaps, speaking of, athleisure.
Athleisure, yes. I was ready for it this time.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And the last clue, 63 across, people may visit them just for kicks. Shoe stores.
Right.
I like that one too. Mm-hmm.
We had 31 down, premium computers, actuaries.
Yes, that took me a bit.
Right.
But yeah, eventually I got that, and I sort of was like, oh, duh, after I read that. And that crossed with another oh, duh for me with 39 across. Star with Oscar nominations in 5 consecutive decades. And boy, I was just like, who could that be? And I wasn't thinking, I guess I was thinking more of a male star. I just sort of had that in my mind. But it turned out to be Streep. I'm sort of like, oh, of course, Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
So it must have been what, the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s? Or maybe it was started in the 80s through the 2020s. I don't know. But anyway, that's a long time to be an actress and to get that many Oscar nominations.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
We had 30 down. Staple ingredients in Japanese cuisine was miso paste.
That is correct.
Or possibly miso paste. Miso.
I always pronounce it miso.
Oh, okay. In that case, I will follow.
I don't know if that's right, but that's how I pronounce it. Oh, and 32 down. They show models' names, car titles.
Yes. I had car, and then I went for trunks. Because I figured the title is on the trunk of the car.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt a little unnerved by that, but turned out that's because it was wrong. But there were a few clues at the bottom that sort of helped, like 62 across. The Canadian gas brand is Esso.
It's always Esso.
It's always Esso, yes. Casual tops with tees, and I like 56 across. Subject of some grainy photographs, silo.
Yes. Did you put Yeti?
No, I started off with this is almost this couldn't have been a proper answer in the New York Times because it was starting with an indefinite article. I put down a UFO. Because I had it ending in O, and I thought, they'd always take grainy photographs of these UFOs. They're never in sharp relief. But
well, yeah, that's why I put Yeti.
Yes. But
I thought it could be Ness, the Loch Ness monster, but you only had 4 squares, so I didn't think they'd put Ness. So they usually call it Nessie if they don't say Loch Ness.
Well, that last letter ran into 53 down, just all right, and it turned out to be so. I figured it might have been blah, because that was something we had just the other day.
That's right.
But let's see, we had 48 down. Prefix meaning straight was ortho.
Right.
And let's see, God of life in the afterlife, 9 down was Osiris.
Yep. Egyptian.
I was glad to see Osiris back in the grid.
Oh, another funny one was 37 down. Hair-raising thing, follicle.
Yes.
I don't recall ever seeing follicle in the puzzles, but I imagine that's not a debut. I imagine they've used that word before.
Follicle? Correct, yes. Yeah. The debuts were Loyd, sex scenes, miso paste, actuaries, and 40 down. Pooch pampering places was pet spas.
Pet spas.
I'm surprised that that's a debut. I would have thought that it's shown up. It's shown up a total of 2 times. In the singular, has shown up 5. So.
Oh, okay.
I think it's starting to make more and more appearances.
Interesting.
Yes. Search high and low. 49 down was scour.
Yep.
And 58 across blank. Mistra Know-It-All, 1970s Stevie Wonder song. He's.
No, I didn't.
He's Mistra Know-It-All.
I guess.
Sounds a little on the
Mm-hmm.
A little unusual there.
I originally put she in there. She Mistra know-it-all.
Oh.
He's Mistra. Mistra know-it-all.
Yes.
No, I've never heard that.
13 down, fine, just tell me. And the answer was, okay, I give.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that was good.
I think I actually got that one, which is sort of miraculous when you think about it. Mm-hmm. Creative pursuits, 52 across was arts.
Yep.
Of course it was. Mm-hmm. And Big Galoot, 36 across was oaf.
That's right.
I like that one as well.
Yep. A lot of good ones in here.
Yes, indeed. All right. So this was by Michael Lieberman again, and this was his 27th, as we mentioned. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it for the crossword, but it is Friday, which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday. And I was doing some research looking for software to construct crosswords with, and on a site that produces such software, amuselabs.com, they had a blog about 24 tips for writing crossword clues from an NY Times constructor. And there are rather a lot of these. I just thought I would sort of pick a few. And this was by Patrick Merrill, who is a puzzle author, cartoonist, graphic designer, writer, and photographer. He's written 92 crosswords for the New York Times, plus 320 more for the NYT crossword app. I'm sort of surprised that the crossword app would be distinct from the ones that have been in the New York Times. Don't quite follow that bit, but that's a lot of crosswords. He's written 80 puzzle books and 1,000 crosswords and word puzzles for People magazine.
Wow.
He was also the daily crossword columnist for the New York Times. Really? And one of Mad Magazine's usual gang of idiots.
Wow.
So clearly, he knows what he's talking about.
I would say so.
So writing crossword clues is a very exact business, Patrick says. Clues need to be entertaining, factually correct, and phrased so that solvers know what they're asking for, all in the space of just a few words. So where does one go to learn the rules of writing crossword clues? That question arose years ago on a now-defunct New York Times crossword forum, and nobody had an answer. In an attempt to remedy the situation, I came up with a list of 24 rules below. It's not the final word on the matter, but it does address most of the main issues. So I'm going to link to this in the show notes and just pick a few here. So these are some tips. So 1, number. If the answer is plural, the clue is plural. Tense. If the answer is in the past tense, the clue is in the past tense. Foreign. If the answer is in French, the clue is French or has a French reference. Now, I guess we have to explain, this is from the perspective of a person who has created the grid and is now trying to write the clues for it.
Right.
So really, we should be flipping this around. Number. If the clue is plural, the answer is plural. I think that's what our listeners want to hear. So allow me to redo what I just said. If the clue is in the past tense, the answer will be in the past tense. Foreign, if the clue is French or has a French reference, the answer is in French. He doesn't mention Spanish. Maybe when he was writing most of his crosswords, French was the prevalent language.
Perhaps.
No longer. Let's see. Generally, a slang clue will have a slang answer, and the eras must match. Let's see. Difficulty. An obvious answer for this we'll just read in its current form. An obvious answer for a Monday clue will probably be right. An obvious answer for a Saturday clue will probably be wrong.
That's very true.
Yes. And one that I always have trouble with, parenthesis. Up in parenthesis at the end of a clue indicates up follows both the clue and answer. For example, liven up would work for perk. So you could have liven up follows liven, so liven up, and perk up also works, which of course
and they mean the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. A question mark after a clue indicates wordplay or a trickery is afoot.
Yep.
Quotes. A phrase in quotes signals the answer is a similar spoken phrase. For example, if the clue was can't be done, the answer might be no way.
That's right.
And myths. If a clue uses a disputed fact, a tag such as supposedly or they say is used. and articles. Although articles are usually not used at the beginning of a clue, such as Australian bird for MU rather than an Australian bird, articles should be used in the middle of a clue. Okay, that doesn't really help with the answers, but it is sort of interesting to know that fact. Yes. For example, kiwi should be fruit with a fuzzy skin, not fruit with fuzzy skin. An exception to the no article at the start rule is a Great Lake for Erie, since there are 5 choices. Oh, okay. So there were just a few of the 24 tips from Patrick Merrill. Very, very interesting. And we will link to this in the show notes.
Okay. Very good.
Yep. That is it for today. So thanks, everyone, for listening. We'll be back again with our in-depth, thorough, cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.